Tampa Bay's RBLR Sports.
Hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Liz, this is JD, and this is RBLR Sun FC. JD,
Good morning.
how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm feeling, something about a good Saturday night on the water in Tampa. It leaves a good impression on the rest of your week. So I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling very chilled out. Maybe some tension has been lifted, and I'm just having like a classic good week. How are you doing, Liz?
I'm pretty good too. Another thing that will put a Sun fan in a pretty good mood is just beating the pants off Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, I was talking about Fort Lauderdale losing, but
Yeah.
the Sun being the winner was also very cool.
Yes.
So yeah, that
And
actually
2 for
works.
1, honestly.
Yeah,
2 for
definitely.
1.
Yeah, I actually forgot it was us. I just remember they lost.
They just
My
lost.
bad.
That's all.
Yeah. And I mean, are we going to address the elephant in the room that we're wearing our yellow jerseys? We were at the yellow out.
Yes.
My
It was
hat
a yellow out. We got our
looks
jerseys.
insane. But I had to make it work, but it's I mean, it looks better without headphones on, but
No, you're rocking it.
When they say wear yellow, I have to commit, and it worked, I guess. So.
Yeah, you had more yellow on than this too. You had the bandana as well.
Yeah, I considered bringing like they gave away a rally towel. I considered somehow working that into the look. It was too much, but a little watered down. Go watch the game back. There's a couple shots of me in there, I think. So,
Izzy jumped down from my desk and she's did the classic cat thing of, ooh, there's a box. I'm gonna hop in it.
Of course, you pull the toy out of the box. The box is the toy.
Yes.
Classic. Well, we had a game. How did the game go, Liz?
Oh, the game went so goddamn good.
Yeah.
So goddamn good. We won 3-0.
That's 3.
Ayy.
That's more than we've won by at any other point this season, which is not impressive because there's only one other time.
Yeah. But thank God this was the game where we really decided to come out swinging, because this was the match to do it for sure. I know I'd said to Maddie Parsons 2 weeks ago, or whenever the last game was at this point, I was like, you guys know you gotta bring it for Fort Lauderdale, right? We've never lost. She's like, yeah, we know. And they knew. They came. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Rewatching it, this was truly one of the most enjoyable games to watch.
Yeah, I feel like that maybe seeing if you're Coach Schulte Brown and you're looking at the upcoming games when you're getting the squad tuned up and ready to play the second half of the season, and you're like, we have a couple games, DC, Spokane, but then you're aiming at game 3, Fort Lauderdale. You're like, okay, that's the one. We got to have the squad locked in. We got to beat them up. And high key, we did that. It was
I was gonna be honest, like considering we had tied DC, that didn't really go the way we had wanted. In my head, I hadn't said this out loud yet, but in my head I was like, if we don't lose to Fort Lauderdale, no matter where we place on the table, season is a success. I hate to say that my bar was that low at this point, but it kind of was.
I do have a slightly higher expectation still, based on how we've looked, including in this game.
Yes,
but...
yeah, I kind of expected a draw. I love that we got a win. It's great. Let's just beat Fort Lauderdale into the dirt. I want to beat the dead horse till it's even more dead.
If nothing else, please let them be bottom of the table at the end of the season. If we're 8th, I need them 9th, and that's it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. A win here, the squad looking pretty good. I do like what we looked like, and like you said, it was one of the most fun game to watch. And also, it was really fun being there, just from like our point of view, from the heat wave. It felt like a great, engaged atmosphere. A lot of us talked about how we were surprised when the attendance number came out, because it felt like the crowd was more full.
Even the commentators mentioned it. I'm sorry, if any of the owners are watching or anyone who can access attendance, can you please double check, because it was like a 1,300 something, like
It
the
was our
higher end
it
of
was like
13.
our lowest of the season.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
which it
by the
didn't feel
numbers.
like that. It didn't look like that. It didn't sound like that at
But
all.
I mean,
so either we're padding numbers for the other games, or this is a gross miscount, because there were even Fort Lauderdale fans there.
Yeah. Well, I noticed there was like I think there was a clinic pregame, and then also while we were setting up, there was what seemed like a corporate event. So I wonder if like people in the stadium before the game maybe don't count as like gate attendance, like because they came in before the gate opened. So I wonder if there might have been a couple hundred people more than counted for official attendance if they were part of like pregame festivities. I don't know. But regardless of what the number ended up being, it was a really engaged crowd, and it felt like every pass, like every defensive action, every save, obviously the goals. I really felt a lot of energy from the crowd, and it felt like a really good, like, I think that's the type of crowd that was there, was just like a more engaged soccer crowd. It was up against a Rowdies preseason game, so we did lose some people who, you know, often go to both, and they chose the Rowdies game for that one. It was also, it was still a friendly, but it was in honor of somebody that mattered to the organization as well. So those kinds of things are like understandable. And I think the crowd that ended up being at this game, though, was not the Gasparilla crowd, Valentine's crowd. There, it wasn't like because of promotion.
Totally
it was like
different
because
crowd.
of it was because of like the soccer brought them out. So just really engaged and really fun. The kids on the drums as well in the heat wave. It's been a reoccurring theme, and they've given us a lot of energy. And even when we're quiet, at some points they get us going, because kids just have endless energy. So you got to keep up somehow. So yeah, overall, off the field, a pretty good experience. I enjoyed the idea of them doing a yellow out as well, doing a sale on these jerseys. I got to pick one up. The Gasparilla was sold out in the men's. If any owners are listening, find me one of those. Thank you. Men's large, yes. I was happy to pick up one of these yellow ones as well. So it's fun to like lean into a theme, do a merch promotion with it, and things like that. So overall, and I did see, I would say a good amount of the crowd was wearing yellow, or I saw a ton of these brand new as well because they were on sale. So if the whole crowd wasn't completely blocked out in yellow, at least there's a little blip on the merch sales probably for these kids. So
a decent amount of people got the memo, thankfully.
Yes. So overall, great experience. Kind of bummed we're not going to have it for another little bit with kind of the break the league is in right now. But why don't we get into the on the field and talk about how that game went?
We kicked their butts.
And that's the show, everybody. Thanks for tuning in this week.
Yeah, that's all you need to know about that entire game.
5 minutes of yapping about the atmosphere. Result. Next game's the 13th. Bye. Just kidding.
So there was a lineup. If you go watch the game, it's not the right lineup. It's incorrect. I don't know if what we submit, it's what they pull from somewhere. If we submit it, it's almost never right. So we were kind of doing like a 4-3-3 kind of. So we had Parsons up top, Fusco and Shimkin as like our attacking midfielders, Zayden, Nasello on the wings, Listro and Provo as our midfielders, and then Henny, Bissett, and Chisholm, with Emery Wegener getting the keeper start.
Yeah.
On the bench, we had McNeil, Gaillard, Picorni, Bryan, Haugen, Beardsley, and Weber.
Yeah, so just for the changes from the previous game, Wegener getting in goal is interesting. And also just notably, Beardsley is still on the bench, so it could have been her start too. We had theorized maybe with Beardsley getting starts and Schneider being out, if she had already been called up to Jamaica. We didn't really at the time understand the timing. We know now that none of them have been called up. Sydney's still been at the games. So we knew that Beardsley earned the previous starts. But this start is interesting because according to the commentators during the game, they had talked to Coach Brown and said that it was Wegener earning this start as opposed to Beardsley preparing for international duty, which is coming up for her as well. So actually, they said that Hendricks and Bissett made a case for her, like appealed for her to get the start.
I missed
and
that.
they said it was like her time to have a shot, and she's one of our permanently rostered players. She's not on loan, so having her in instead of Beardsley, no offense, she's a great keeper as well, but if we can have a permanent player be our starting goalkeeper, that would be great. And we've talked in the last couple of weeks about how we have 2 first keepers between Liz Beardsley and Sydney Schneider, and we have 3, I guess.
So yeah, now we got 3.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I like
really...
this. They caught on to the Rowdies' past history of really solid goalkeeping, and I'm a fan of that.
Yeah, it's definitely really nice to see. And I'm not going to say it wasn't expected if she had a really good college career, but we just haven't seen a lot of her. And
she
for whatever
coached.
reason.
So I don't know if that factors into just being a better, like that makes you a better player. She coached a W League team for like a year.
Yeah, I wonder where that fits into her career. I'd love to ask her about that. But either way, she got the start. She had a great performance. We'll talk about a few of the moments when we go through the game recap. But yeah, interesting to note that both of our internationally called up keepers were available for this game, and Wegener earned it over them. So love to see it. I think they're all great keepers. Wouldn't be mad if any of them started the rest of our games, but Emery definitely made a fantastic case for herself. So yeah.
Nice. All right. So you want to tell us about the first 10 minutes?
Yeah. The game started off with really great press and pressure. I think this was a continuation of the Sun wanting to play a lot more intently at home, a really strong game plan, and definitely pressing their back line when they're in possession. So I really enjoyed seeing how we started this game. In the second minute, there's a moment where Parsons plays hold up in the box, distributes the ball out to the wing. I think Zaid doesn't do anything ultimately with it, but 2 minutes into the game, we're in their box, we're holding up, we're distributing. So I really like to see that. But actually, when thinking about the game, driving home, I was thinking, wow, we pressured them the whole time, and I don't remember them having any significant chances. And then watching it back, I was completely wrong. They absolutely had chances throughout the game, and actually 2 in the first 10 minutes. So I think Fort Lauderdale started the game stronger than we did. We started with a lot of intensity, and we pressured them a lot, but they actually broke through that. And about 9 minutes in, I want to say, they had a pretty good opportunity from the right side of the box, and Listro just blocks it, full body block, great defensive play. So that, like I said, it went totally the opposite of what I was thinking how the game was going. But that directly leads up to the ball going the other way down the field. And only 2 minutes later, Liz, what happened?
Nasello scores! It was absolutely beautiful. Jordy takes a shot. She gets blocked. The ball falls to Nasello. She shoots. She scores. She does Nasello. She's so good.
Glorious. Wonderful. Yeah, so despite Fort Lauderdale being up at our end of the field a couple times in the previous minutes, we get kind of a long break up the right or up the left, my bad. But kind of funny, we lose the ball twice in this buildup. We completely lose it on our run. I believe it was Shimkin up there, I want to say. And then it comes back to Listro on just a clearance, and she takes a long range, could have been a cross. It doesn't really get that far. It gets blocked by a defender. And that's when it falls to Sydney. She's running at pace. She just bangs it kind of right towards the keeper. I wanted to be oh, what a finesse shot, top corner, whatever. No, it's just the keeper can't catch it, and it just bounces off her and goes in the net. So I loved seeing that. I loved seeing the energy, and the reason we were able to win the ball back twice after losing it twice in that buildup is because we had players running forward and taking up in going into the space where a ball could land for off of a deflection or off of a 50-50 and finish it. So Sydney Nasello actually said during halftime, she was interviewed on the broadcast, and she said that anyone could have scored that goal. We had 6 people in the box. It just happened to fall to her. She's being a little humble. I think she scored a great goal there as well. We had the players there to take the opportunity. And this is something we've talked about in the last few weeks and recapping the last few games is we have had more players into the box. We've had more players pushing forward into empty space, trying to get that second time because maybe we haven't been taking the best opportunities first time. Maybe Listro's cross into the box didn't need to be exactly where it was to get deflected by the defender. But in this instance, it worked out. But at least now we're playing in a way where we can take advantage of those situations instead of letting that attack fizzle out. And for the game overall, I mean, it's just a huge relief to score within the 15 minutes and within the first 15 minutes, excuse me. And beyond that, we have not lost a game yet this season where we did score first. We've just drawn most of them. We only won 1-0 against Spokane. But other than that, we haven't given up a lead, I guess, that would be true. We haven't given up a lead to a loss, just to a draw. So definitely confidence inducing to get it that early. And then also like overall, the team was just absorbing pressure well. And we were the first ones to take advantage. So just that gives you that fire, and they continued it through the rest of the first half. And another chance that then a couple minutes later in the 20th minute, Fort Lauderdale had a fantastic chance. They shot it into the box. It was deflected again by a defender, and it fell kind of at the top of the D, like outside of the box. I didn't catch the Fort Lauderdale player who just kind of bangs it with their left foot. But it forces Wegener to go all the way down to her right, full bottom corner, full extension. And it's a save for sure. The ball is on frame. So that was an excellent kind of follow-up within the next 10 minutes, to be able to prove, hey, not only have we scored first, we're also not letting you score. We're keeping the shutout. This is our game, and they didn't get to respond, quickly to our opportunity. So I really liked how that was going. Unfortunately, during the first half as well, we were getting some pretty unfortunate calls, needless calls, silly stuff. I mean, the game was chippy for sure. I'm not going to lie. We definitely had some physical moments between us and Fort Lauderdale players. Some of them are on us, some of them are on them. But it was when this goal kick happened, and this is why I noted it, this is when I was like, hey, I don't really like the way this game is being refereed, because there's a cross into the box that from us, and Gordon deflects it out. So she, I think, chests it, or no, she heads it, and it goes just across the face of goal and then out beyond the goal. So it was a good defender's deflection. Parsons, as just kind of an attempt, flails towards it, kicks her leg up, and touches it out of bounds because she's just kind of getting to the ball. She's not looking at the ground where the line is, but we're right there in the heat wave. I am 20 feet away from this thing happening. Parsons is absolutely
that's generous. I feel like it's less
off
than
the
that,
field.
honestly.
Yeah, she is genuinely very clearly off the field. And for some reason, it is given as a goal kick. This play did not matter. If it had been a corner, we have not been super productive off corners. We won the game. I'm not mad about this play because of this play, but I wanted to take this opportunity to point out that the refs were being pretty unfair to us in the first half. There was at least one offside that I didn't really see. There was this goal kick where Parsons does not touch the ball in bounds. She touches, by the time it gets to her, it's fully out of bounds. I'm not sure how the AR did not see that. And then even a Lexington fan in the USL Discord, a neutral fan who's just watching the game for Maddie Parsons, which, hey, I respect that, was like, hey, so the refs definitely hate Tampa Bay.
I mean, if that was real Foxy, they love to shit on refs. They hate the refs, and they don't care what the call is or if it's justified. So I'm gonna take that with a little grain of salt.
There was, there was a
there
conversation
was,
about it.
yeah.
There was a conversation. There were a couple people chiming in.
Okay.
In the heat wave as well in person. Of course, we have our diving flags. Those are flying up every few plays. Fort Lauderdale really like to go to ground, and they were getting the calls. And then, Fort Lauderdale seemed to be playing pretty rough and didn't get any calls. There was only one yellow card in the first half, and we took it. So, just like a little kind of weird. I mean, obviously it didn't affect the end result of the game. And I will say, to the refs' credit, in the second half, it did get better.
Yes.
Better things got called. One major call happened that we'll talk about. But I just want to take a moment to say, like, hey, AR, like, pay attention to where the lines are so you can call a goal kick properly. Very, very silly little instance there in the first half.
And the last note I have for the first half was just Jordy in the 36th minute, just absolutely body checking Shania Gordon. She is my queen. I love her.
Yes. Yeah, that was part of
my captain.
That was part of the chippiness as well. I think Shania Gordon actually gets like foul, or I don't know if she was fouled, but she definitely gets shoulder checked on like the play before this one as well. Because I saw it coming up in the notes and I was watching and I'm like, that wasn't Lister. I think it was I don't remember who it was on the play before. And then it was the very next one. I'm like, damn, she just got bodied like twice in a row. But it was wonderful to see. No major cards come out, no fighting, no maybe some chirping that we can't hear, but that's what a rivalry game is going to be. They want to beat us really bad. They lost the championship in that stadium. And a lot of those same players are on the field still. So, it's definitely, and a lot of our players are on the field too. So, especially Lystra. So it's personal. So that is always how it's going to be. It's fun to watch. I'm glad it didn't lead to anything significant for either team. You don't like to see fighting or real aggression, but if in a play, a little shoulder to shoulder, a little shove happens, they keep it pretty professional, and we came out on top of the emotional game in this game, I think.
Yeah. That is also how I know, by the way, that the commentators did not even 5 minutes of research on us, because they just kept, wow, what a chippy game. I'm like, why did you read anything?
It's kind of our thing.
Yeah.
Well, maybe this year people haven't really paid attention because they just like overlook like, oh, in the sun they're bad. So
I guess they also missed
doesn't matter
Zayd's first two flip throws. They only notice it on the third one, and then they're like, wow. Okay. I did not like these commentators. Can we get Tim Rack back on the mic, please and thank you.
Take what you can get, leave what you don't need. So you can get that commentary.
I want Tim Rack, or I can't think of his name. He's a Man United keeper that we just randomly have on games, and he's my favorite.
I'm not familiar.
I don't remember his name because I'm terrible with names, but I remember that's what his team was. That's what his credentials.
Son, get that guy.
Yeah. There we go. Thank you. Get me
Figure
back
it
on
out
track.
for us.
Yes. Halftime. We are up by 1. We have 7 shots, 3 on target. We have 47% possession. We've had 3 corners and 1 yellow. Fort Lauderdale's had 6 shots with only 1 on target. They have the other 53% of the possession. They've only had 2 corners.
Yeah.
No cards.
It was a competitive half. I want to, like, sun-colored glasses, want to say we dominated this game, but I would say the first half was pretty competitive. We only really had 2 like standout chances. We converted one of them, and they had like the one really great save that Wegener made. So it was definitely more competitive than the final result ends up looking, and that's ultimately because of how the second half went.
Yep. And then starting the second half, we make a sub right away in the 45th. We take Jilly Shimkin out. We bring Sandrine Gaillard in. Izzy. I don't know if you could hear it. Sorry. She was on a plastic bag. It was so loud. I'm assuming we brought Gaillard in just because she's a little more seasoned. I also think she might be a tad more aggressive. Just comes with more playtime. Jilly's still relatively new. Your notes pretty much nail it. She was getting pretty neutralized by Nasello's overlap. And Gaillard did do a little bit more with the ball.
Yeah.
Actually, she helps with one of the goals.
Yes, I've been writing my notes like teasers for the goals always.
Yeah.
Yeah, she definitely contributed more, and yeah, like we have an overload in our forward midfield. Listro's obviously there; that's like her position for sure. Nasello loves playing anywhere she can get the ball, but we kind of left our whole left wing like open to whoever could get there because Fusco, Shimkin, Nasello were all in that mid space. So I think Shimkin will shine in a game where we play a little bit more of a system where there's not three players trying to almost play the same position. Obviously, they overlap a lot and they put themselves into space and make themselves available for different kinds of plays. Sometimes one of them is in the middle and the others push up the wing. But I think it would be nice to let Nasello do whatever she wants and still everyone else play a position. And I think that's where Shimkin got lost in the shuffle there. So that's actually, I wrote it later in the notes, but we might as well just say it now because we won the game, so it doesn't really matter. But that's like my biggest critique, I guess I could say, of how we played, is that just density in our central forward, like midfield. It doesn't seem like we have a playmaker. We have Nasello. She wants to be a winger sometimes. She wants to be a goal scorer sometimes, and she's great at doing both those things. So I'm not complaining, but the players around her definitely need to know what space then they can occupy. And like our heat map of this game has the left like totally open. There's barely any like action off to the far left. The right is fully covered by Zaid. She's playing that position like very solidly. She sticks right to that touchline the whole game. So that is like obviously part of the plan. But yeah, I think clearing up what's happening against better teams, like Fort Lauderdale just didn't challenge us on that, and we were able to win. Even when we lost possession, we won it back. But against better teams, we're going to have a little more defined shape in the forward midfield. So something to take forward there. And I think Gaillard might contribute to that, like you were saying, with a little bit more experience and playing in different systems. But Shimkin absolutely could too, in a little bit different setup.
50th minute, Wegener has another very significant deflection. We get a cross in from Emma Harding on Fort Lauderdale. Emery taps it above Locklear on the back post.
Definitely would have been a goal if she didn't get a hand on it.
Yes.
I think this was the second time in the game the Heatwave chanted her name. That's our keeper. Yeah. She definitely was earning the chance on Saturday night.
Another moment, you were just talking about Zaid really covering the side, the left side, or the right side, excuse me. I was just really impressed by this. She's speeding up the side. She outpaces Julia Grosso, who she's pretty fast. And then is able to take a shot that the keeper has to like full extension save. So that was just one of those moments I was like, yes, I like seeing this.
The first half, she had a lot of great crosses into the box too. And in the variations of them as well, she's been really improving she gets some of them all the way to the end line and cuts it back. One of them, she got most of the way up and put it on the ground. Unfortunately, the defender got there first, but I like feel in my bones a big Zaid assist moment coming because she's been really thoughtful and picking good spots to get those crosses in. And I feel like Nasello was saying, we have so many players in the box now. I feel like we're a game away from seeing one of those finally pay off. So I'm really looking forward to that for her because she's been so productive up the right that I'm surprised that hasn't paid off yet. And I think it absolutely will.
Yeah. A couple of minutes later in the 55th, there was a funny moment, and it's Henny and Bissett they just like completely slam into each other.
And the ball just like rolls. They're like, where is it?
Like obviously nothing bad happened afterwards. Nothing resulted from it, thankfully. But it was just really funny for them to just take a minute and be like, oh, okay, no, hold on, let's get back to this.
I feel like that would be me. That would be me on every play if I was a professional soccer player. So, it happens once a season to your center backs. I think we're doing okay. Yeah. But I'd be running to people left and right. So.
And then a minute later, Nasello is fouled by Leveni Vaca in the box. I don't know what the hell she was thinking. She just sticks her leg out. There was no point.
Nasello makes a great, dribble. That's the thing, is there's nothing to do. She got around her. Like, she was past her. So if it was outside of the box, it might even have been denial of a goal scoring opportunity, because there was nothing she could do at that point. So you're right. Just sticks her leg out. And you were close to that PK, weren't you?
Oh my God. I picked the bet. So I totally forgot to go visit my dad at halftime like I normally do. And I felt really bad about it. And I was like, oh, I haven't seen him in like a week and a half. I should go say hi. So I walk over, around like probably probably right when the second half starts. And I'm over there and we're talking and we're watching the game. And then all of a sudden you see the ref point to the spot. And I think I scared some of the little kids that were around, because I was like, yes! Just going absolutely like bananas on the sideline, because I was like, PK, she's gonna nail this.
Like you were saying, it was such an obvious foul too. Like at the other end of the field, the heat wave end, I was in the stands and I'm pointing, like, as the ref is pointing to the spot, I'm also pointing to the spot, because the second, I think before Nasello hit the ground, I was pointing. The second she was flying through the air. It was definitely just the clearest of all clear fouls, and Nasello just completely buries it. A great, just put your laces through it, full confidence. She puts it kind of up towards the corner. Keeper's at extension, right? I think the keeper even went the right way.
Yeah. Oh no, she couldn't reach it. It was just over her fingertips. Just Nasello, she nailed the placement, and I knew she would. That's why I was so hype. I was like, oh, this is a PK, and Nasello's got this.
No failed Panekas here. It's all just bangers only.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That, I have to admit, being on the other side for that, as close as we are, that was really nice.
Yeah, I've always wondered what it's like. I was gonna say, I always wondered what it's like around because like all the seats in the stadium are so close. Like, I think about how close we feel behind that goal, and I'm like, dang, every time they're battling up the touch lines and the other goal, it's like everyone in the stadium has as good a view as we do. So love that for us.
And so right after that, I think we're at 2 goals. The next one is the one that I think of for that. We do make a sub though in the 59th. We take Zaid out, we bring McNeil in, we take Parsons out, we bring Weber in.
Yeah, McNeil coming in, definitely just a defensive move to shore up. Zaid had expended her usefulness, I think, at that point. We were 2 goals up. Like I said, the assist is coming, a goal is coming. Why not? She's a great player. But McNeil coming in definitely was a great move. She was directly involved in the goal a little bit later on as well. So we'd love to see that. And then with Parsons coming out, that's just Parsons is playing a tough game up there, kind of running around, chasing center backs all game, making space in the box. So getting Faith Weber in is not necessarily like an attacking sub. It's a like for like, but she's been coming in late every game. And if we're up 2 or we're down 1 or whatever, I think she's a great player to have on the field for the last 10 minutes. And actually in this game for the last 30 minutes or 20 minutes. So I really like to see it in this context. It was 30 minutes. 90 minus 60 is 30. I liked it in this context because last week she came on at the 88th, I want to say.
Yeah,
and I was like,
time.
that was way too late. And she had opportunities. She was directly involved in the last second chance that we had at that game. So I am really happy to see her come in as an option. Obviously, again, this one was to protect the lead and see the game out. But I do like seeing her come in between the 60 and 70th minute to get her all that time to build up and to play into the game. And that's when, she'll have an opportunity to be productive.
Yeah, no, I'm very happy we made subs much sooner. I really have a preference over Zaid or McNeil. I love them both. So as long as we get both in, I think that's great. We had Zaid in for 60 minutes running her heart out. And then we bring McNeil in, bring in some fresh legs. Just, we don't want to tire Zaid out. We don't want to, injure her in any way. We are up by 2. I like what we're doing here. And then it pays off because Faith Weber has like a freaking phenomenal shot a minute later after coming on. it's just this great little toe poke kick just to try something, I think, honestly, or even just to like get warm in the game. But that makes the keeper have to jump the whole way, like throw her whole body towards it.
Yeah,
so I like that we were like, she immediately came on and was like, nope, we're keeping them on our toes. We're keeping this lead.
Yeah, and she's been bringing that the last couple of games. So I mean, spoilers, I was happy to see it pay off. But overall, yeah, that immediately, like you said, brings just pace and energy. And we don't necessarily have that with Parsons. She contributes in, like I said, creating space, hold up play. She can dribble past people, but she's more holding up the ball and distributing it out, to another forward. So having Weber be like the dedicated shoot it at the net, she got a few chances to do that in this game, and that was really great for her.
Couple minutes later, Wegener has probably definitely the save of the match. And I do hope it's up for save of the month. Because Wegener full on does the splits to stop a promising attack from Fort Lauderdale. Defense follows up and clears it out. But one thing I also noticed with Emery is every single time, if you watch her eyes, they never, even if she's like turning anything, her body might be turned, her head and her eyes, she is locked on the ball at all times. And I think that made a huge, huge difference, especially with this one.
Yeah, I mean, and that's fundamentals. And you were talking earlier about maybe like her coaching plays a role in how she plays and what she brings to the game. And that's like a fundamental thing that a goalkeeping coach will tell you to remember, and a goalkeeper in the moment might not. And so the fact that, she has experience and she has experience training, and sometimes the best way to learn is to teach. And so that definitely could be making a difference. I mean, I don't want to understate, like I want to set the stakes for this save. This is Kiara Locklear. She's a top 10 goal scorer in the league. I mean, this is like, she's tied for 8th in the amount of goals scored. She's one behind Sydney Nasello. Imagine Sydney Nasello running at you. That's scary. So this was a moment that was towards us at the heat wave end that I just had to have faith. I just had to hope. I believe that we have great keepers. It's really, really nice to see it in action because thinking about it is a lot less scary. But she wins essentially a 1v1. It's a full breakaway for Locklear. She has all the time in the world to tap it, curve it, chip it, anything she wants to do to try to get it past Emery, and Emery doesn't give her an option. She tries to take it low and to the side, and like you said, she does that full split. To me, this is a huge moment in the game. This is the difference between a 2-0 win or a 3-0 win ultimately, and a 2-2 draw. If we gave up a goal here, they absolutely could have got on the front foot. They could have made offensive substitutions. This is still early enough in the game where they had some options, and that energy and that confidence would have been something that I wouldn't have liked to see from Fort Lauderdale. So she put the whole team on her back for 1 minute, said, I got this, and had it. So that was awesome to see. Like you said, I think it absolutely should be up for save of the month. It wasn't maybe the most like acrobatic, diving, flipping, whatever, but it was flipping awesome is what I will say.
Yeah. It was incredible. It was incredibly impressive. When I say does the splits, I mean it fully. Like, holy crap.
Yeah.
A couple minutes later, 66th minute, our Swiss sniper, Sandrine Gaillard, just absolutely lays out Hamid. And it's clean and it's beautiful. And I love to see it. Jasmine Hamid, come to the sun.
Crazy nickname.
Yes, sweet Swiss sniper.
Great.
That's actually Mike. Mike gets credit for that one.
Okay. That is Mike coded. Yeah.
Yeah. So by now, we kind of figured out our lineup has changed a little bit. We have Weber up top where Parsons was. And then we have Fusco and Nasello kind of supporting her right behind her, attacking mids. We have Gaillard, pretty much our center mid. We have Provo and Listro who are kind of defending, kind of attacking. They're doing a little bit of everything, I guess. And then we have McNeil, Henny, Viv, and Chisholm as our back line.
Yeah. I think like the switch to a back four just closes down what options they had up front. They were playing the same formation the whole game. So, I think that was a good opportunity to switch to the back four, like we were saying, bring McNeil in for Jordan Zaid and just let him close it out.
77th minute, we make our second sub where we Fusco comes out, Maddie Picorni comes in.
Welcome
to see it.
Sun.
Give her a good 20 minutes.
Yeah, she's coming back from an injury. I was going to try and name the part of the leg. I didn't remember if it was quad or whatever. She's back. No worries about the injury, hopefully. Didn't see a lot of like what she can bring to the table, but her getting minutes is great. And we talked about in the episode when we signed her, we talked at length about what she can bring to a team. So this is definitely one. She didn't immediately contribute in this game, but the minutes are all valuable. And I hope to see her, if not starting, coming in as a sub, maybe even earlier in the next game. And then if we need depth or we need rotation, bringing her on.
And then 83rd minute, our third and final goal of the night from Faith Weber. It is her first professional goal. So it starts with a throw in from McNeil, goes to Weber, goes to Gaillard. She takes a couple of touches, just nutmegs the Fort Lauderdale player, and then Faith gets it, one touch, shot and a goal. Game over.
Mono Tango Faith. The Venezuela national team slogan is brother, I have faith, brother, we have faith on the Tampa Bay Sun. It was a great 2v1 off that throw in too. I liked how much Gaillard was pressuring the defender. Ultimately they got possession off the throw in. Another opportunity, just like the first goal, that we weren't exactly looking our greatest. We just threw it into a defender. But the pressure Gaillard was putting on allowed Faith to just kind of step in, literally put a stiff leg in and kick the ball out. And Gaillard and that defender, I didn't see who it was from Fort Lauderdale, but they were kind of just still tangled up a little bit, and Faith gets clear, and then they just kind of 1-2 back and forth. And I really, really liked the strike as well. This is like a striker's finish. It's close post. She's running right at the goalkeeper and just doesn't even give her an option. Quick inside. She could have gone wide. She could have passed it. She doesn't need to. She's a striker. She knows what she's doing in front of net. She proved it. So fantastic first professional goal. If I'm in the Weber family, this is getting brought out all the way to next Christmas. You're going to see this at family events. Very proud of Faith. And she's looked like this since she's come on. She's played in both of our previous games, like again, as a late sub. And so I'm really glad it's paid off at this point. It was a ceiling goal in this one. It was okay. We're 3-0 up. Really the only question that we have at that point of the game is, are we going to concede one? So it's not necessarily like the most high pressure situation she was under, but what was great about it is that it was an opportunity for her to get that goal, not have to deal with pressure. Her celly was great. She sprinted across the whole box. She hit like a half turn. She was just amped up. You could see it. And I saw it across the field. I was like, I didn't even see who got the final touch on that one. I just know that they ripped like a nasty celly. It was awesome. So I really enjoyed the fact that we brought her in at all, and that we're putting these young players on the pitch and giving them opportunities to show their stuff. And she's the latest one in this kind of new trend towards Sun players being, kind of fresh out of college, getting their first professional things. And this was a first professional goal, which really happy she did it in I was going to say in the blue and yellow, but it was yellow. In the yellow.
Well, the blue and the yellow.
Well, yeah,
Yeah. Last sub we make of the night. I'm assuming after this goal, DSB was like, we can take Nasello out. Let's bring Sienna Bryan in. Get her some minutes. She was one of our academy players. I believe she's in a full contract now. So I like that we're just bringing her in, just get a couple minutes in, get some touches on the ball, get some experience.
Yeah, and this is like a game. It's not like the stakes change. If anything, our third goal, Fort Lauderdale just want to spoil it a little bit. They want to score just as much as they did at the beginning of the game when they could still win, even if they're out of it, statistically. All the players that are playing even 10 minutes at the end of the game are under that same pressure the whole time. So it was a great team performance to see it out. Getting a shutout, I think, is huge for the Sun. We have if we've gone up in goals, if we've gone up 1, we let them score 1. If we've gone up 2, we've let them score 2. Or actually more likely, we've let them go up 2 and then we've scored to respond. So just not allowing a team to score at all against us at home. Get a couple different people involved. Obviously Sydney Nasello is always herself. She does fantastic. So just an overall great team performance, great individuals stepping up, and 3-0 full time.
Yes, we ended with a total of 3 goals, 13 shots, 5 of which were on target, 40% possession, which I was kind of surprised by. 4 corners, 2 offsides, and 2 offside, and 2 yellows. Fort Lauderdale had 9 shots with only 2 on target. That's so bad. I think it was the 2 saves Emery
and it was
made.
Great saves, yeah. That was it.
It's so bad.
I don't know exactly how they count possession, but it felt like the ball, if neutral was a possession, it would have been 30% neutral. Yeah. It was one of those games where the ball was just kind of pinballing around in midfield a lot of deflections, a lot of clearances one way, and then it lands at the defender's feet the other side, and they pass it up, and there's a little bit of a play through midfield, and then it's a clearance, and then just the fact that we came out on top. Sydney Nasello, great goals. Faith Weber, great first professional goal. Up the Sun.
Up the Sun.
I guess now I can spoil that Mona has been here. You might have seen her ears a little bit.
Little Mona.
Yeah, but she's also maybe she's not mad. I thought she might be mad, but
Little void with eyes. I love her.
the yellow, because normally sometimes I wear darker shirts, so
yeah.
Sometimes she's
really
here and she doesn't.
yellow.
She doesn't show up on the show, but now she's she's definitely very visible.
All right, what were some fun takeaways from this match?
I think my favorite kind of game management thing that I saw was that we handled pressing really well. We came out of the box swinging. We pushed if they were in their defensive shape, if they were passing the ball along their back line, Maddie Parsons is right in their face, trying to get it away from them. Like I said, even as quick as the second minute of the game, she had an opportunity off of the back of one of those. But then, like I said, the management of it in the second half, we played a lot more passive. We didn't waste a lot of energy. Once we had the goals, we allowed them to breathe a little bit more, but we still, held our shape when they actually got it forward and when they actually had an opportunity. And then the 2 opportunities they got through, we had Emery Wegener. So I think overall, in terms of a game plan, we executed what DSB probably wanted from the team in this game. Like I said, some notes on the kind of forward midfield position with Nasello wanting to play everywhere, but also us having 2 or 3 other players that also occupy that space. I think just some clarity there would be helpful in moving forward, but in this game, didn't seem to matter at all. We had the right people in the right places. We have a lot more forwards in the box, and we have Jordan Zaid whipping in crosses. We have Nasello making runs, and we have Parsons doing hold-up play. And then any pieces around them, I think those are the most consistent things that I've seen over the last few games. And then the pieces around them have found opportunity to work and fit in around that. So, I really liked, as a game plan, it seemed like we knew what we were getting into, and we executed on kind of countering that really well.
I was really eloquent because my note was, that's some good, pretty Sun soccer.
They accomplished the same goal. you know.
It was truly one of the most enjoyable games to watch all season. One thing I noticed that I was really impressed by, was even though the game was chippy, they didn't get under our skin. It's happened in a couple of games. The one where Nasello literally points to the star, for example, where they've really gotten under our skin, and then maybe it ended in a draw. Because we didn't quite have our head in the right spot. They did not get under our skin. We got under theirs though. They were super annoyed.
Yeah, we just played with confidence the whole time, and I think that's like if you're in a shoving match, which there was not any shoving in this game, but a metaphorical shoving match, and there's back and forth. If you're the team, for one, having the lead from the 12th minute, but also just in general, we were playing better out there. So even if we didn't have the lead, I think the team would have still had that level of confidence of like, we're just playing. I don't need to like be mad at you or be aggressive. We're just playing better. But in those choice opportunities that some of our players took to hit a little harder on the shoulder, or stick a stiff leg in and kick a ball away, I liked that we still did that. And I like that, something we talked about during the midseason break, that we have an identity of being a little more aggressive and physical. Maybe it's just against Fort Lauderdale, maybe against other teams, we won't bring out that side of things, but at the end of the day, whatever gets you the win is what works. And what worked here was us playing like our own game and playing, a little more physical of a style kind of in the midfield. And that goes to kind of how we've looked since the return from the midseason break. I think overall, I'm not sure statistically, don't quote me, but I think statistically we had more chances in the first two games back as well than the other team did in those games. And we just weren't able to capitalize on them. Obviously, DC was like a heartbreaker with tons of chances, especially in stoppage time at the end. Like, we should have won that game, I think it's safe to say. Spokane was a little bit more 50-50. They challenged us a little bit more. But ultimately, the Sun look refreshed. They look like a new team. The new additions have worked in really well, and we still have Picorni like getting health in. Emery Wegener came out of nowhere kind of for me. I mean, obviously she was on the roster, but we had Sydney Schneider starting every game, and then we signed another keeper in the midseason break. So I was like, okay, that's locked in. Those two are locked in.
And no offense to Emery Wegener, because I hands down, phenomenal keeper this match. She played in our first match of the season on like August whatever. She was terrible. It was so bad. So maybe she just needed, 6 months to cook. I don't know what it was, or just to learn the style of play here, or, whatever it was. She's on it now. So Emery Wegener did kind of come out of nowhere. I'll give you that one.
I mean, I think I think that goes into confidence too, because in the first half of the season, our back line and our defensive shape was just not as sturdy. So that's part of it too, is like the keeper needs to be able to trust the defense. The defense needs to be able to trust the keeper. Obviously, the first game of the season for anyone is going to be a learning moment too. But if it's the two center backs in Henny and Bissett saying this is the keeper we want in goal out of our options to the head coach, and that's the reason, along with her, personal performance in trainings and proving that she earns the spot. And whatever development she's done, if she's done additional training or anything like that, or she's just shown leadership, I think being very vocal with the back line and interacting, that all builds confidence. So, it's conjecture about exactly what the different keepers bring to the table. And in a shot stopping capacity, I rate them very similarly. But like, this is, I think, if we're playing with our most confident team, then I want that team's keeper, the keeper they choose, to be in. So I think it is just something that's been building up, and I think the other keepers could still do a great job, but she won a 1v1 against a league-wide notable player. She didn't back down from challenges like that. She tipped the ball when she needed to. She caught it. She punched it. A very confidence-inducing performance for her personally, and for me as a fan that stands behind her for half the game. Her positioning was great. I never saw her in a position where I was really worried about it, which both Schneider and Beersley have kind of caught me off at different points. And I was like, you're maybe a step to the right or left a little further than you need to be. And I think Emery was locked in, like you were saying, on the 1v1, she was locked in on the ball. So yeah, I loved what I saw, and I'm glad she's got an opportunity to show her stuff. And if she's our keeper for the rest of the season, definitely no complaints. And I think the kids who were drumming in front of us that were chanting her name for half the game also have no complaints. So if it works for them, it works for me. I'm not one to complain.
I just have 2 final notes for this match. One, does Jasmine Hamid's back hurt from carrying this team? Because, oh my God. Can she get with Sabrina McNeil for the Fort Lauderdale support group? The Tampa Bay Sun to Fort Lauderdale support group? I would love to have her on this team. I feel so bad, honestly, watching her play. She has no help, or she has some help out there, but it's not great help. She's just too good for Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah. Fort Lauderdale had an opportunity this mid-season break to do what we did and bring in some different options and just freshen things up. And they brought in even a new coach, and not a totally new coach, but they elevated an assistant coach.
He's the goalkeeping coach.
Well, but he was the first assistant coach. Okay. Justice for assistant coaches. But they looked okay last week. They finished 3-3. They scored a few goals. Brooklyn is not a phenomenal side, but on paper they're better than us. And I think they're still in that rebuild. I think they're still in that refresh. They were losing right before the previous coach Ali was out. They lost 3 games in a row, 2 of which were by multiple goals. And then they drew one that looked pretty good, and now they've lost again by multiple goals. So not really much has changed.
Their keeper has given up 13 goals in 4 games.
Couldn't be us. Almost, but
pretty close, but not quite. But not quite.
Yeah. Well, our worst run of form was 2 games in a row, and it was 3-1 and 3-0. So we definitely also hit a rock bottom before the end of the first half of the season. But trust the process and the pieces we brought in have us rebounding, and Fort Lauderdale not. So Fort Lauderdale, can we play you every week is my question.
Please. I woke up still singing all the songs from the night before.
Yeah.
When I was young.
Too explicit to say on the phone. Well, we could use our one, I guess. But
yeah. But yeah, I in the morning.
Screw Fort Lauderdale, go Tampa Bay.
Yeah. And then I am once again asking for a pink keeper kit. Please.
Look,
I know it's greedy as someone who won one of the breast cancer awareness kits, but I saw Emery Wegener wearing the full pink kit, and I was like, I like it so much.
You might need to take matters into your own hands. Start DMing players, Liz, more than you already do. So who do you have for player? Do I have to ask? Who you had?
I mean, it's Nasello.
Yeah, actually, our notes say player of the match, Sydney Nasello. Liz, yes. JD, So, yes, great performance from so many members of the team. Emery Wegener gets a huge shout out, definitely honorable mention. It is not 3-0. The 0 is as important as the 3, and it is not 0 without her. But Sydney Nasello, and coming back from what we thought could be a serious injury. I mean, she came off the field, assisted by trainers, was on crutches after the previous game. We didn't know what to think of it. Ultimately, it turns out she was fine. She's also a tank. She's super tough. She's not going to let a minor thing affect her.
She'd be the type to not let a broken leg keep her from playing in this match.
But in that instance, they would stop her.
Yeah,
somebody would. Don't make me do it, but somebody would have to stop her. So clearly she was medically cleared. And she said, what injury? I've never heard of a thing. And then scored 2 goals in this game. And also drawing the foul on she was going to score a goal on that opportunity anyways, drawing the foul, taking a confident pen. To me, she's just the total player. I mean, thanks for being on our team so much. It's so useful. It's so nice.
Yeah. It's nice to have a win again.
Yes.
That's 2.
And look, off the momentum of this win, guess what? 2-week international break.
Yep, of course.
Yes. So I don't know if I literally found out today because I was reading one of the league match reports, and they don't say they put out the schedule, but they don't put like a block in the schedule that says international break. It is an international window, and we are a first division league. So I guess like jokes on me for not like thinking of it like that immediately. But yeah, they put in like the little notes on one of their match recaps. It was like, and going into the international break there, whatever. And I was like, it feels kind of crazy that I didn't know that we were having international break. So just for reference, the next Sun game is Friday, March 13th. So that's 2 weeks and 2 days. If you watch this on the Wednesday, it goes out, essentially 2 weeks away from now. And the only reason that there are a few Super League games in total trickled into the middle of the next few weeks is that they were all rescheduled. I think DC has 2 home games, and Audi Field is just like slammed. They have like 4 teams that play there. And for some reason, DC power is like the lowest on the totem pole in that situation. They've had to move games a lot.
Because they're owned by the same people who own the men's DC team.
They are moving games. I don't know. Don't look at me. So yes, DC moved 2 games. That was if they got Trinity Rodman, the games wouldn't have moved. They moved 2 games due to scheduling. One of them was moved at the very like beginning of the break. Like they were like, here's our spring season schedule updated. And there was the game on like the 7th, I think. And then the next one was actually moved up. So it was going to be in April, and they moved it up to this window. I have no idea why, presumably a schedule conflict in April for the stadium. So DC moved 2 games, and then the Lexington.
There was a Spirit game, I think.
Okay. The Lexington Dallas game that was weathered out. I don't know if it was snow or rain, but that game also was moved into this window. So there are 3 Super League games before the next Sun game that weren't like originally scheduled in the window. So it is an intended 2-week window. They just moved games into it. That was a really long explanation for a simple concept, but I learned it and I have to share it with the listeners of this podcast. But overall, I think it's the right move to do an international break because approximately 9.3% of the players in the league are called up. So there's 21 call-ups across the whole league. So there's, I think, I want to say more than 10 on the senior side, about 10 on the youth development side. I don't remember the exact numbers, but it just shows that the league is getting internationally relevant players. We've talked about the league needing some names. There are some. Ekic comes to mind. So there's definitely like some star power out there. They're just maybe not U.S. women's national team players, but international soccer is huge. There's hundreds of teams. So as women's soccer progresses in other countries and as their women's programs, their national team programs get more funding, I think we will see more internationals called up out of a league like the Super League, where you would expect, of course, NWSL is where almost all of the U.S. women's national team players are, other than the few that are in Europe. I think the Super League fills out a lot of the other countries around the world, especially in North and Central America. Obviously, we have Sydney Schneider, but do you want to take us through all 3 of the Suns call-ups?
Sure. So, of course, we have Sydney Schneider for the Jamaican women's senior team. Very cool. The reason I say that is because our other 2 are on more on the youth side. We have Liz Beardsley. She got called up for the USA's U23 team. And then Braylon Galt has been called up for Scotland's U19 team.
Yes. Glory be. I love to see it. I think
that's awesome. And probably also why we played Wegener, because God forbid something happens to one of them while they're away.
Yes.
We need someone to back up. Oh, we just have some baller keepers.
Yes. Yeah, we might have Braylon Galt plus 1 year. We might have 4 first keepers. Well, Liz won't be on loan forever, but yeah, it's definitely a really exciting prospect that we have. Not only our first team keepers are international players. I mean, Liz Beardsley, this is her second under 23 camp for the US, and that's awesome to see. I mean, you get called back, appearing once is awesome for any player, but getting called back again and being part of the ongoing development of that team is really significant. So we've talked about it before. She's one to watch for the future. And then, Braylon just getting a call up for a little bit younger age. I think that shows like even our practice squad and development team, we have intention there. We have goals. We want to be one of the best teams in the league. It has not worked out so far this season, but the way we construct our roster is focused on that. The way we construct our development team is focused on that. So, to me, this is just like assurance that, we have some true ballers in our ranks.
And I am going to try and do my best to follow when our gals will be playing, and if it's possible to watch them legally or extra legally. And I will be trying to tweet them, so make sure that you are following myself. I am at I don't have there we go, at Liz the Lion on Blue Sky. And then also I'm sure Eureka will retweet us, will retweet me at RBLR Sun FC. And then of course, because I'm just plugging everything right now at this moment, at RBLR Sports on the YouTubes, where you can see our beautiful faces and adorable kittens.
You can see my yellow hat.
Yeah.
My controversial yellow hat that had some people saying it was the worst thing they've ever seen, and then one person walked up and was like, "I don't know how you made that hat look good," and I was like, "Hell yeah, brother!"
That's all you need. It's just the one you need.
Just a room of people screaming at me, but one person on my side, and I've won. That's it.
Yep.
Also interesting, since I'll be the schedule yapper for this episode, during this break, Racing Louisville did announce that they are hosting a number of friendlies. Well, they're not hosting. They are having a number of friendlies in Orlando, and they are hosting us, but in Orlando, not in Louisville. So the Sun is going to be playing against Racing Louisville on February 28th. It is a closed door friendly, so no fans are going to be there. I don't know if there's fence gang over there. Or bridge gang, or whatever levels of gangs there may be to see games through various infrastructure projects. But that's pretty exciting. I like the idea of us playing an NWSL team. I loved when Gotham came to town. I think it's a good opportunity in this preseason during the break. Obviously, a lot of NWSL players are away too, called up for national team duty. So it'll be a nice like squad for us. It's going to be our starters presumably, but for Louisville, I'm not sure how many internationals they have, but they're definitely be playing their squad and rotating around, and I think it'll be fun to see that result. I'm not sure how much content we'll get out of the game. I would love a play-by-play, or at least like a nice write-up of kind of an analysis of how things went. What I feel like we're going to get is like a tweet 2 days later that's like, and we also played them and something happened.
And there was a score.
We'll see.
We're not going to tell you what it is though.
Yeah. So, and then also, I didn't put it in the notes, but I'm going to spit it off the dome. If you are a Sun Chaser season ticket holder, you've probably gotten an email about renewals. And in that email, at least in mine, was the fact that we are also playing USF at the Sun practice facility. And this was an invite sent out to Sun Chasers / season ticket holders that we can go watch that game. So if you haven't seen that, check your spam folder or get season tickets. But that is also another friendly that we're going to be playing during this break. And I don't have the date immediately in front of me. I believe it's in early March. I want to say it was the 7th, because that's the Saturday. So we'll horribly edit this and we'll splice in the correct date if I'm wrong, but actually it is. I'm pretty sure it's the 7th in the morning. So, and that's going to be at the USF or the Sun practice facility, which we thought was interesting that it wasn't at USF, but yes.
I cannot find that.
It's a secret, actually, only for Sun Chasers. Liz, check your spam folder. But yeah, that is also happening. So we're playing a couple friendlies, having some fun during this break, getting everybody just some minutes, and then we'll be back on the 13th, but we'll be up in Carolina.
Well, the Sun will be back. We'll be back next week.
Well, we will be back next week. The Royal We, Tampa Bay Sun.
Yes. Eureka, super producer Eureka confirmed. It is March 7th.
Yes, at 10 a.m., which is crazy that I'm going to wake up before 10 a.m. on a Saturday. But
You have
I'm
to
pretty
wake
sure
up
I'm.
before like 9 a.m. for me to come pick you up and take you.
Oh, no, I know. But that's still before 10 a.m., which is
Yeah.
crazy.
We'll get coffee.
Okay, I'm in.
We can do Dutch Bros.
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
We did have a couple other games this weekend. Carolina played Dallas, and they won 2-0 with 2 goals from Sydney Studer in the 26th and the 63rd minute. Not sure what happened to Dallas.
If your name is Sydney, you're going to be scoring 2 goals in the Super League on a Saturday.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, true. Spells it differently, but yes.
Ah, God dang it.
And then a game that I expected to see a very different scoreline. Maybe a tie, something a little closer. Very surprised by Lexington losing 3-0 to Sporting Jacks. And while Ashlyn Puerta did not score her contractually obligated goal, she did assist in one, so I'm assuming that counts for something.
Yes.
Maybe like 2 assists count for 1 goal, so she can make them up.
It's like yellow card accumulation, but for assists.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we had one goal from Casey Smekrud in the 31st, and then Bailey DeSmit was like, right at the end of the first half in the 44th minute, I'm gonna score, and then I'm coming back in, I'm gonna score again in the 53rd.
Yeah, that was like the big touted number 1 versus number 2 game. I think you should have watched the Sun game if you were a neutral viewer and you watched that one.
Way more fun, honestly.
Ours, number 9 versus number 8, and number 9 won. That's way more interesting in terms of storylines. Or maybe I'm just Sun bias. I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Who's to
We
say?
have all of our Sun gear and Sun background and Sun, yeah. And our Sun podcast.
Yes, on our Sun podcast at RBLR Sun FC. Maybe I should start doing the plugs. That sounded pretty good. I like that.
Yeah, actually.
I don't know. We'll see. Either way, to plug for the actual Tampa Bay Sun team, as you said, Liz, we will be back next week. We will be back the week after that. There is no international break for us. The United States Podcasts Association is not calling me up. So, but the team will be back officially for league play on March 13th. They're going up and away to Carolina Ascent. Technically, they're ascending and then descending into Carolina. And that is on a Friday evening. And then the next home game is the next Wednesday, and that is March 18th. We're back at home against Brooklyn FC. And this game is going to be one to definitely try to get to. I know Wednesday games are hard, but they told us in an email promo today. For one, it's Women's Empowerment Night, which is plenty of reason by itself to go. We've talked about, obviously we're a women's soccer team, but overall, we've talked about how important, our front office and all the women involved in our team are, and, how inspiring that is to women, young and old in our community. So that's plenty of reason to go. But if you're only in it for the rings and the trophies, we're also raising our championship banner on a Wednesday night for some reason. Also, like 22 games into the season. So
you forgot about the third and most important reason that could get someone to go.
What is that?
Girl Scout cookies.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's your it's the last
that's
chance.
At least a quarter of the reason I want to go now. I'm not gonna lie.
It's quote your last chance to get Girl Scout cookies. Look, I have a plug through work, so
Fair.
I don't need cookies. There's like a young girl who comes into work. Well, actually, she's not that young anymore, but like the first time, like 5 years ago, she was like 12. She's like the top seller of her whatever because we sell her like 400 boxes a year at my job. So we hook her up. But for anyone else who doesn't have a work plug for Girl Scout cookies, yes, they've also said that it'll be your last opportunity. So if you're into women's empowerment, which is also Girl Scout coded, if you're into delicious cookies, or if you're into, again, just the stats, just the championships.
And there'll be merch. They said there's going to be limited edition merch.
Limited drop,
and I am, as a Swiftie, I'm just such a goddamn sucker for limited.
That's crazy. They got you on that. That's crazy. Yeah. So all of that was to build up to say that it is about 2 weeks before that. So you should put in your PTO request now. This is your heads up. So yeah, that is going to be on March 18th. Our next home game is a Wednesday. The one after that is a Sunday, and it's Easter. We don't have to get into that right now, but why are we doing this to ourselves? Hey, we'll be able to talk about it on an upcoming episode. I'm
going to stress out about that next week.
They're going to clip that, and they're going to be like the Easter rant. It's going to be like a 15-minute YouTube video from one of our future episodes. I'm promising that now. But yeah, so that's kind of what's going on in the next couple weeks for the Sun. A couple friendlies. We're back in, I was going to say early March, but the 13th feels pretty mid-Marchy to me. Yeah, but I loved what I saw in this game, so I'm kind of bothered that our momentum might not be able to carry. But at the same time, if we had any, like I was saying, role confusion, difficulty figuring out who is going to go where for what position, we have a lot of time to work that out too. So
lingering injuries. One thing I just remembered off the top of my head. Carly Giamona was out injured for this match. And she hasn't quite been on a hot streak yet. I think she's another, like, I think she was one of the players I said last week that we subbed in too late. And she didn't quite get cooking until way too late in the match. Yeah. So I'm not sure what happened there. If maybe something happened in practice, if something happened in that match I didn't notice. But you know what? Take 2 weeks off. Or 2 weeks of no matches at least. Let's get all these nice soft tissue injuries out of the way and nice and healed and all that fun stuff.
It might be good for us. And here's the other thing I didn't want to harp on too much or point out, but Carly Giamona is our second top goal scorer of the year. She's definitely a contributor if she's in a team that's playing with confidence and that's moving the ball well. And she's one of those players that's breaking into the box, pushing, receiving a ball that is bouncing or was deflected, just like Sydney Nasello was saying that it could have been any number of goal scorers. Carly Giamona is her for that. So would love to see her back as well. And ultimately, I hope Faith Weber scores a bunch more goals. I need that to not be the stat. Is Carly Giamona, who's barely played in our last 3 games, is still our second top goal scorer. I need a Parsons, a Weber, a Zaid in there. We have many options now.
We're only going up from here, baby. We're only going up from here.
I think this does put us also. We haven't done the number crunching, but this does. I mean, we're not eliminated, and until I see, I didn't hear no bell. Until I see that E, we're pushing. So.
And honestly, the league might forget because they're really bad at remembering to put those stuff.
Look, I called my shot. I don't know how many people know. I mean, obviously, and this is still true for this episode. If you have negative feedback, comment it below. We will fight in the comments. But I also comment on the league posts a lot, and they put their power rankings, the top 4 power rankings, out yesterday for this past weekend. And I said, well, I guess I was wrong. Only one more match week until the Sun is in their top 4 power rankings. That's wildly ambitious and not even remotely true. But whoever reads that comment on Instagram is not going to hear me say that here. But I feel like it's closer than we think. We might be 2 wins away from being in the power rankings because we might look good very quickly. And the table is shaping up such that even though we are, I think at this point, 4 points out the bottom, once we get into the mix, it's 1 win difference between being 7th and being 4th, and that's playoffs. So the teams in there have really cannibalized each other. It is not a clear top 4 for playoffs. It's pretty much a clear top 1. Jacksonville sealed that pretty well with their win over Lexington this weekend, but we are moving up that table. And once we get into that mix, we could move through that mix very quickly. The points are very close together. We just have to do our part and win almost every game remaining. But with the team we have on the field, we look pretty good for it. I'd love to see it. And we don't play Jacksonville this half of the year. So that also is a huge boon to our abilities that everyone else has to face that. And we don't. So
yes. Yeah, that's that. I'm just we are 1-for-1 on wins when Christina Uncle comes on the podcast.
True.
Just saying.
True.
So, by the way, if you missed that was last week. At least go listen to the Uncle part of the interview part. It was very, very good. Really, really fun to talk to.
Yeah. Listen to the interview and then listen right at the end of the game preview where I predicted 2-0 and then the Sun even outperformed my wildly optimistic prediction. So listen for that too.
Yeah. All right. I know I did it like 10 minutes ago, but still, at RBLR Sun FC on socials, at RBLR Sports on the YouTubes where you can see our beautiful faces and kittens. Yeah, well, yeah. When the kittens come up.
Yeah.
And we have merch again. Wait, I forgot. Where's the merch? It's under banners. That's right. At shop.rblrsports.com. Use code HEATWAVE for 10% off. Woo, we have merch again. It's good merch. You will actually get it, and it won't take 6 months. All right. I want to say...
The bar was on the floor.
Oh, my God.
And we raised it.
Yes. All right. I want to say that about wraps it up for today. We somehow managed to do another 1.5-hour episode. I'm so sorry, but also enjoy. Hi, Mona.
Yeah, she just came back. Just came back for the outro.
I love the kittens. Bye.
Thank you for tuning into this presentation by RBLR Sports. On your way out of the stadium, please remember to like and subscribe.